right, so the big news in our world last week was Wayne Hansen. Wayne Hansen, a great reviewer and YouTube guy. Check him out on Wayne Hansen. And he had reviewed a game by Compass Games. I don't know what the game is. I don't know who the designer is. But I know there was a little bit of kerfuffle. And he was taken down from a Facebook site, a solo Facebook site, that one of the admins is Derek Case. Super great guy. So obviously, knowing Derek is a reviewer, an honest reviewer, as is Wayne. And there was, I don't know, misunderstanding happened. He was taken down, something about the designer not liking it. Obviously, the designer doesn't like negative reviews. Who likes negative reviews? But regardless, it was taken down. It seems that the designer had nothing to do with it. Derek had nothing to do with it. It was a misunderstanding. Something happened. You know, snafu. Or, yeah. So, that was the big news. Wayne is back on. It's as if he never left. And it gave us a chance to see his face. Wayne's a cop! Just like the chief. The chief's a cop, too. Cops are nice guys. I like cops. Look how soft-spoken the guy is. Look how cute he is. So, that was the big news. Other than that, I've just finished filming the game pitch. This is the second episode I'm finished filming. The first episode, we had to revamp it. Second episode runs a bit more smoothly, but as time is going to go on, hopefully, I'll refine what needs to be refined as best as I can do. So that's it. And, yeah, man, I'm trying to get in touch with Reinhard Knizia to be a panelist. Hey, he was in touch with me before. Also, because this is news that pertains to our small little family, dysfunctional as it may be, please go and support Enrico Viglino, Calandale. He's going through a very difficult time, and any support that we can offer him, any friendly support that we can offer him, please do so. Thanks. So, have a good show, and be kind. HOLLANDSPIELE and Table Battles Expansion number 5, The Grand Alliance. This is a game designed by Tom Russell. That's just an expansion to Table Battles, which is designed by Tom Russell. The duration is 30 minutes. This is a 2-player game. Solitaire suitability is high. And what you get, the battles, I should say, the 6 battles in this set are Fleurus, Marsaglia, Chiari, Blenheim, Ramillies, and Denain. I hope I pronounced that right. 3 Crowns games, and Stargard Solstice, Operation Solstice and Soviet Pomeranian Campaign 1945. Well, they say that 3CG, 3 Crown Games, is back in business. So, they have a webpage and all. Check them out. And let's see here. Do they give us more information? Well, this Stargard Solstice starts with one of the last German offensive of 45, Operation Solstice. At the beginning, Guderian had planned a pincer move to relieve Kustrin, but Hitler wanted to save troops to retake Budapest. So, this is what it's all about, alright? And, let's see here, does it tell us what we get with this game? No, I'm clicking on it, and I get Squatsky. But hey, check it out. Stargard Solstice is designed by Stefan Ekstrom. Worthington Publishing and Keep Up the Fire, Deluxe Edition. This is a game going to be published by Worthington. It used to be published by Victory Point Games. It's designed by John Welch, and I have the design that has, I have the game that has the Victory Point one, and I had a great time playing that game. Lots of fun. Compass Games, New Directions in Gaming. Coalition, the Napoleonic Wars, 1805 to 1815, a game designed by Javier Garcia de Gabiola. And this is a quick-playing grand strategy game with operational elements that could recreate all the Napoleonic Wars from 1805 to 1815. And here's the catch, in just one evening. So, the complexity is 6 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 5 out of 10, time scale is 1 year per turn, the map scale is country to country grand strategic level, unit scale, armies of 30 to 50,000 men per strength point, and fleets are 15 to 25 ships, here I go again, per strength point. This is a 2 to 6 player game, playing time is 4 to 6 hours. What you get with this game is one map, 22 by 34 inch mountain map, that is, 2 sheets of 3/4 inch counters, 3 decks of 56 playing cards, rule booklets, multiple player aid cards, 6-sided dice, and the famous compass game, a box and a lid. No motherland without North Korea in crisis and Cold War. So this is a card-driven strategy game for 1 to 2 players, simulating tensions between the DPRK and the West from 1953 to the present day. So, complexity is low to medium, solitaire suitability is high, time scale 8 to 10 years per turn, players 1 or 2, playing time 90 to 120 minutes. What you get with this game is one mountain, game map, one counter sheet, 128 poker-sized game cards, rules booklet, and a box and a lid. Designed by Dan Bullock. Strategy and Tactics Press, World at War issue 76, and the game in this issue is called Operation Jupiter, Churchill's plan to invade Norway, 1942. This is a 2-player war game. A complete game takes about 2 to 3 hours to complete. Each hex is 10 miles. Each turn represents 3 days. Ground units represent regiment, brigade, or division. And it comes with 22 by 34 inch map and 176 die-cut counters. Modern War, issue number 52. World War Africa, that's the game that comes here. The Congo, 1998 to 2001, is a 2-player war game. Each game turn represents from 1 to 3 months, and ground units represent brigades, regiments, and battalions. What you get with this game is one 22 by 34 inch map and a sheet of 176 counters. High-flying dice games and an unpleasant and devastating fight. The battle for Sitang Bridge, February 21st to 22nd, 1942. And what you get with this game is one 11 by 17 inch map, 70, or maps I should say. Well, he says here one 11 by 17 inch maps. I'm assuming it's one map, right? Okay. Plus 70 unmounted double-sided counters and a rulebook. This is a game designed by Paul Rohrbaugh. And that's it. And for our Italian watchers, Vlog 67 by Riccardo Mazzini, The System of Command and Colors. That's what's on the table. Steve Dole just says he's still around and he swears by it. He is playing Compass Games' The Fall of the Third Reich. World War II Solitaire Board Game Channel. It's checking out an old game, a game I have, one of the first games I bought getting back into consims and war games. He is playing Panzer General, Allied Assault, an unboxing, and D-Day Dice, the 2nd edition, Atlantic Wall playthrough. Hex to Hex has a couple of videos out on Karelia 44, turns 4 to the final. Actually, a few weeks ago we started the game, yes of course, and Kiev to Rostov, Scenario 3, Turn 3, the Germans. Jan Heinemann and Let's Play History is crazy. He's crazy. He's got like 15 videos out in 3 days. So he's playing a lot of games. Check it out, Fields of Glory 2, and a German game or Republican. What's this here? Something on the Rhine. It's Republican Bayonet. My God help us. Republican bayonets in the Rhine. Also, Allies Defiant. Ladies and gentlemen, he's nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back Tim of Harebrained Games with his weekend games, The Long Dark Winter. Matt White takes a look at the 2020 version of the expansion Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kit Expansion Number 1, 2nd Edition.
Hey folks, it's ARDWULF. Welcome. Dan Panuccio has asked me to talk about what's happened on ARDWULF'S Lair this week, so here we go. Our live stream of the U.S. Civil War on Sunday having been canceled due to the football game, we cut right into Monday with our blockbuster interview about OCS the Third Winter with designer Tony Burkett, developer Chip Saltzman, and the OCS series honcho Curtis Bear. We had a really good discussion, and awesomely, OCS the Third Winter hit its pre-order number during the stream, so it is now moving forward in the production pipeline over at Multiman Publishing. It is a game I personally am super excited to see, having participated in the playtest, and if you are in the mood for a big OCS monster game, this is something you should have a look at. Later on Monday, we did the counter-clipping stream of the week on the topic of whether we really need more games about overhandled topic. As usual, we had a great discussion, many counters were clipped, and we'll be back next week. Due to technical difficulties, Traveler Tuesday was actually Traveler Wednesday this week, but it did happen, and we took a detailed look at the new Mercenary box set Kickstarter from Mongoose Publishing for their Mongoose Traveler 2nd Edition game. It is a very ambitious project, and if you're interested in this type of campaign, whether using Traveler or not, then you should probably take a look at it. Our weekly unboxing arrived on Thursday with Coalition, a new release from Compass Games. Many things are afoot this week at ARDWULF'S Lair, so let's take a look. Once again on Sunday, we're going to try to do our learning game of the U.S. Civil War at 5 p.m. Eastern. This is a game that I like a lot. If you'd like to learn how to play it, or at least be the fly on the wall while we are learning to play it, then give us a look at that time. At 8 p.m. Monday Eastern, we'll be doing our weekly counter-clipping stream. This week's topic will be how to organize your war games. We're going to address that topic at multiple levels. Be sure to stop by. For Traveler Tuesday this week, which will hopefully actually happen on Tuesday, we're going to take a look at the various Traveler war games. We're going to just provide an overview of what that was all about. This is a video that I've been meaning to do for some time, and I hope that you enjoy it. And our weekly unboxing, in collaboration with the Armchair Dragoons Unboxing Day, will be an unboxing of Barbarossa Crimea from GMT Games and designer Vance Von Voorhees. I hope that you will check out the channel this week. Until next time, happy wargaming.
And talking about DVG, use this code for an extra 25% off from their website. And talking about DVG again, Combat Board Games is unboxing War of the Worlds, France. And the man who goes by the name of Jeff gives us an overview of DVG Air Leader expansions. Dad vs. Son has started another impressive series of game throughs. Stalingrad 42, the full campaign. JK Wargames takes a look at his battle report of Black Powder. BLASTPOP is taking a look at Wing Leader Origins 1936 to 1942. This is an expansion from Wing Leaders, designed by Lee Birmingham Wood, published by GMT. Tony of Tony's Board Life continues his turns 5 through 7 of 20th Air Force. Liz Davidson of Beyond Solitaire interviews Jason Matthews, most famous for Twilight Struggle, about the newest game, Imperial Struggle, and his other political games. The war game philosopher A.J. Toyenby has a couple of videos out, the first one being about August von Mackensen, and a narcoleptic unboxing. You heard me right. Kevin Sharp and Big Board Gaming is checking out Next War Vietnam and Ariete, 3rd episode. Rough Swordsman Wargamer is unbagging the new expansion for Space Infantry called Federation. This is designed by Nathan Hansen and published by Lock and Load Publishing. Let's go kill us some bugs. ID Jester has a special announcement live stream coming February 17th with Mike Denson and his game, The Last 100 Yards. Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming does Where There Is Discord, Turn 4. Lock and Load Publishing and the original Grognard, the OG Devin, talks to us about Lock and Load Publishing on Vassal. The Hugh Hefner of Wargames, Todd of War D-Roll, plays World War II miniatures, board games, and media. He plays media. Todd, I gotta talk to you about that because I don't know what that is. But anyways, Todd's got 2 videos out. One, he's playing or doing an alternative painting in Big Game Alternative. Also, Big Game Alternative, France 40, live play. Compass Games and John Krantz was live with Ty Bomba and Sean Chick. Counterproductive Games is checking out Storms of Steel, the scenario called The Courier Satchel, Turn 1. And Rob of Rob's Tabletop World checks out multiplayer games that play great solo. And check out the Grognard of 2020, Jim Ozarski, where he plays Project Quatre Bras 2, Napoleon's Last Battles. This is an old SPI game. GMT offers us a video on the game Next War Vietnam. So this is the situation after one turn tactical surprise campaign. Seek Out and Play checks out how to play up front, the basics.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. First game we've done a first look at on YouTube is the Avalon Hill General. This is volume 16, number 6. The main game its covers is Dune, but it also has a scenario for Anzio, so nice magazine. And then did a first look at USN, the War in the Pacific from 1941 to 1943 from SPI. The game itself looks pretty decent. I just don't like the rule book on it. The rule book's in one-page format, but other than that, it looks alright. And the last one we did was Minuteman, the Second American Revolution from SPI. This is a mostly unpunched copy. This looks really cool, actually. And last thing I did on YouTube is the Chronicles of Davis, episode number 7. In this episode, Davis and his party bring back the magic stone for the reward, and then they go out searching for better armor at a blacksmith before they go on their next adventure. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.
And GIMPY checks out a game called Indian Wars Custer, a game released in 2019 by Historic One, designed by Lionel Liron. Also, Black Seas, Parts 1 and 2. And Dr. Cody of the Discriminating Gamer checks out GMT's Caesar, Rome vs. Gaul. And the Cane Man, Marco Omnigamer. Yeah, Cane Man, you should go on his Facebook, you'll understand why. The Cane Master, Marco Omnigamer checks out from Decision Games, Asuf. This is a review of Lionheart vs. Saladin. The Chief of Bonding with Board Games plays through C3I's number 34 magazine game Firebase Vietnam Solitaire from RBM Studios. That stands for Roger B. McGowan. And the Player's Aid, now to be known as, and that is on No Enemies Here,
And I'm Grant.
The Enemy.
Grant.
And The Enemy
Grant.
is doing a monthly debriefing, episode number 1. Also, they are unboxing La Resistance from Flying Pig Games, a game designed by Mark the Shill Walker. What the hell's a shill? That just came to me. Wayne Hansen checks out in his Recon segment an unboxing of In Magnificent Style by Dream Team designer Herman Luttman, published by Worthington Games. Also, he checks out GMT's SPQR, a game by Mark Herman and Richard Berg. And STUKAJOE has a slew of videos with new music, not by me, but by STUKAJOE. This man is a Renaissance man. His videos are on White Dog Games, The Lion of Khartoum.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Leviathan Sorbet from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennik TV. Thank you once more for your invitation, Dan, and as a week earlier I'd like to share with you what movies were published on my channel during the last week. So last Sunday I have published a movie in which I have spoken about my top 3 games of January 2021, and on the third place I put Down in Flames, Locked On from Dan Versen Games. This is a card game covering or enabling us to play to recreate dogfights which occurred from the end of World War II up to the Gulf War. So this is a card game in which we will be holding cards in our hand and trying to do our best in order to shut down our opponent's aircraft. On my the second game on my list was Tricerion Legends of Illusion from Mind Clash Games. Not a war game at all, but such an intense, such an entertaining game. This is a game about illusionists. We are an illusionist trying to become the most prestigious one, the most important one in the mystical city of Magoria, in order to become the successor of the mystical illusionist Dalgard. Finally, my top game of January 2021 was Choćim, Potęga Husarii, the might of the Hussars. So this is a game covering the Battle of Choćim 1621. I have already told you a few words about it last week, and I will once more tell you a few words about it in a few phrases. On Tuesday, the English movie, and this time I decided to publish the review of Durchbruch, the Austro-German push towards Caporetto. This is a game published by ACS Edizioni, which covers one of the most important battles fought on the Italian front during World War I. A very successful offensive by the Axis, by the Central Powers, which managed to knock out not less than 300,000 Italian soldiers from the war. So this was a very spectacular success, although it didn't manage to achieve its ultimate goal, which was to knock down completely Italy from the war. On Wednesday, I published the unboxing of Tricerion because I have prepared this movie a long time ago, but it is the time when I decided to publish it, even though I have already played the game several times. This movie was published in Polish, as on every Wednesday. Finally, on Friday, the review of Choćim, Potęga Husarii. And now I'll switch to Polish because this is also a Polish movie. Ten konkretny film to ukoronowanie całego cyklu opowieści o grze Choćim, Potęga Husarii, a więc recenzja, w trakcie której przedstawiłem Wam zarówno to, jak gra wygląda, jak i opowiedziałem także o swoich przemyśleniach, powiedziałem o tym, co moim zdaniem stanowi o mocnych, a co o nieco słabszych stronach tego tytułu. Ale umówmy się, tych słabszych jest naprawdę o wiele mniej. Więc jeżeli jeszcze tego filmu nie widzieliście, bardzo serdecznie Was do niego zapraszam. So, Choćim, The Might of the Hussars, a game which really took me by surprise, but I played it a lot. I think it's an excellent design, very interesting game. I will also present the review of this game in an English movie in some time. And that's it from me. Thank you a lot for watching this part of Dan's show. I wish you a very good week and see you next time.
Hello all! Today Kilroy goes off the shelf on RPG war games. What am I talking about? I'm talking about role-playing war games. What I'm not talking about is actual role-playing games. One of the earliest role-playing games I played, or war games with the role-playing theme, was Behind Enemy Lines by FASA. This is a great game dealing with World War II. However, one of the things that kind of set it back and made it not as replayable was, when you get shot, you die. It was relatively realistic. You didn't always die, but if you got shot, it didn't look too good for you, which kind of made it hard for you to roll up a character and take them on more than one mission at a time. Another game that a friend of mine, a high school friend of mine, ran was Recon, which is a Palladium game. And that one dealt with the Vietnam War. And what I really liked about that was, getting into character and getting into the different roles. My favorite role was the Pigman role, which was kind of a heavy weapons or machine gun, carried an M60. Love that role. So what are the features of a war game RPG? So I'm not looking at pure RPGs, I'm looking at war game RPGs. So some of the features I have is that, well, it's a war game. I'm not meaning to start the great debate here on what's a war game and what's not. I'm basically saying that this is a game that has a very strong military conflict theme. That's what I'm talking about from a war game aspect here. The next feature I have is solo. Now, they don't have to be solo, but most of the time, solo is probably the best replacement for a dungeon master. The solo games generally have a good AI that kind of serves the same feature as a dungeon master. Also, as I'll talk about a little bit below, this format fits with the more personal nature of RPGs. Your character development and you're developing your own individual story arc. Next is, narrative, as I just said. A key element to any RPG is a rich narrative, which drives the game forward. That kind of pushes the storyline, gives it an arc. Also provides the player options, decisions, and choices. That's a key to a good war game RPG. And they do all this while adhering to rules of that particular world or environment. So, like with Recon, which was an action RPG, well, that was Vietnam, and Behind Enemy Lines was World War II. So once you set up the rules of that environment or that world or whatever historical period you are playing, as long as you stay within those rules and try to create some sense of realism, that's key to the narrative. Next up is dire consequences. Well, what do I mean by that? I mean, you can die. That you're developing this character or you're developing this story for a small group of soldiers or warriors, and they can die. It's not a situation like with an army that, you have to go get it refit or it flips over to the next step side. You can actually lose this character and then have to start all over again. Stated another way, your choices have meaningful consequences. That's a key to a war game RPG. Next up is more personal, progressive than puzzle optimal solution. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, focuses on the individual or small group rather than a squad or a large group or even an army. So some of the, really good solo war-playing games like the Field Commander series from DBG, those really don't fit this. These are dealing with full armies or big groups of armies. I mean, although you are playing, as Rommel or Napoleon, or Nimitz, you are handling large groups of soldiers or large units, and so it really doesn't focus on the individual narrative. Also, what I'm talking about with the puzzle optimal solution situation, I'm looking at decisions that branch out rather than becoming a set solution to a problem or a puzzle. The difference here is the really good the really good war games, again by DVG, like Castle Litter or Pavlov's House. Those are really solid solo games, but they're really at some point kind of become a little bit of a puzzle. That if you make the right choices or the optimal choices, you can kind of puzzle this out, and so your decisions don't have like an endless opportunity, or can go down paths that you might not necessarily expect. There is somewhat of a solution at times to some of these things. So that's what I'm kind of talking about in that regard. Uh, Next up is a life story or campaign focus. In role-playing games, you have experience points and you level up and you gain different skills and experience over time. And so in a war game RPG, it's not a single shot, single battle situation. It's a little bit more of a campaign focus, and you're telling a life story, and typically tracks that through advancement or improvement through use of character or log sheets. And several of the games I'm talking about have that. So some of the games, or some of my games that best fit this, are of course the classic B-17 Queen of the Skies. It was one of the original ones. It's what I kind of classify as a charty game, but it also is very RPG-like. You're telling a narrative of this group of crew members of a B-17, and you get attached to them, and it tells a great narrative as you're playing that game. Along with that are games that kind of derive from B-17, and that's like the Hunter series. I have the Hunters and I have Silent Victory. They're both very similar. One, you're a German U-boat commander. The Silent Victory is your U.S. U-boat commander. And again, a lot of charts, but it tells a great narrative. You keep track of what ships that you encounter, and you sink and fight, and you gain medals and awards over time, and so it really does fit with the RPG narrative. Along with that is Interceptor Ace, which which deals with kind of like the B-17, but it's on the flip side of it. You're a German fighter pilot trying to take out Allied bombers during World War II. By Stealth and Sea. Now, by Stealth and Sea is again by DBG, and it's by the same designer, David Thompson, who did Castle Litter and Pavlov's House. But this one really, fits a lot more of the elements that I listed out. It has more of a campaign. You can play the campaign instead of just the individual scenarios, and you're going to develop over time and get additional skills. And so it does fit with that kind of that life story, that character arc, as you're playing the game. And plus, some of the decisions you make, or whether how to fix your craft or to keep pressing your luck, do have dire consequences. Your characters do die in this game, and will. Next up is the whole series of the Warfighter series. There's several in this. There's the modern warfare, which is the tactical special forces. Then you have the World War II, which comes in, the European theater, and then the Pacific theater, and then you also have Shadow Ops, which is fighting in the dark, which is kind of derives from the modern warfighter series, and then of course you have the private military contractor game. Now that one probably has the best development. You can actually improve your characters over time, and you're actually running a business and improving that over time. So that probably has the most developed narrative of all these, but each one of these, do provide a story of an individual, or really you usually play a small group of either a squad or a group of soldiers on a specific mission. But the best one out of all the games in my collection that I think really fit all these features that I've outlined is Legion of Honor. This one is your Napoleonic soldier, and you advance up. It has all the trappings of a RPG, where you're going to advance over time, you're going to gain new skills, there's going to be interesting stories that happen to you. You can get married or have liaisons, and you're going to get into duels over that, and you're going to get battlefield commendations, and you're going to fight in some of the most famous battles throughout the Napoleonic history, and you just keep developing on and on and on your character and your character's story. So that one's probably one of the ones that best fits this mold. So when I'm talking about war game RPGs, this is what I'm talking about, and this is what I decided to go off the shelf today. So thank you for watching.
Another week, another show. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. It helps the channel. You know what I'm saying? Likes are good. Subscribes are even better, I think. I don't know. And please support this channel through Patreon. It helps me with getting new equipment and software. Yeah, anyways, thank you very much, and my condolences to Enrico Viglino. Very hard time he's going through. Please have a good weekend. Help Enrico Viglino if you can by, I don't know, dropping them a little harder or something. And I'll see you next week.
Please take a seat. I heard that you're still having problems on the bomb run. You know, it would be nice if you could bomb the target once in a while. Today's target is the Meulte Potes aircraft factory in occupied France. Your bomber position will be in the middle of the squadron, and you will be flying again at about 25,000 feet. Your squadron will be the middle squadron. But don't get used to it too much. It won't always be like this. The target is here in Zone 3. Expected enemy resistance is practically nil in Zone 2, and expect 1 or 2 waves of fighters in Zone 3. You'll have good fighter cover, but as you already know by now, it's not perfect fighter cover, so be always on the look for bandits. Stay in formation. Follow your captain's instructions, and good luck. At around 900 hours, our bomber takes off from base. It quickly enters the safety of Zone 1. Our crew is in high spirits and ready for action. Our bomber enters Zone 2, where it has good fighter cover. The Germans failed to send any fighters to intercept. The review copy continues into Zone 3, where the weather is good. Fighter cover is also good. The Luftwaffe sends in its fighters. One wave of enemy fighters approaches our bomber formation. The Germans establish visual contact with the bomber formation. Of the fighters in the wave, only one Focke-Wulf 190 comes our way. At 10:30 high, good fighter cover appears on time and drives the bandit away. The review copy approaches the target area and encounters medium flak. A flak burst hits the left wing. It hits the inner fuel compartment. Luckily for crew and aircraft, the self-sealing tanks prevent any fire or further damage. Another hit, this time in the tail section. The rudder is hit but continues operation. Under flak, our bomber approaches the bomb run. And the bomb run is on target. Our bombardier Arnaldo finally can see a target in his sights. He releases the bombs. 30% falls on target. Not bad. The review copy turns around to head for home. While departing Zone 3, the Luftwaffe sends another wave. The wave makes contact with the bomber formation. This time, 4 Me-109s are coming our way. It is a frontal assault from the 10:30, 12, and 1:30 positions. Our fighter cover appears in time and drives 3 of the 4 bandits away. Our gunners prepare to face the sole remaining German fighter. First to fire is the engineer, Jimmy Castelli. But he misses. Next, the navigator, Hipshot, fires away, but fails to score a hit. With the Messerschmitt about to fire, the port waist gunner, Jason Young, fires. but also misses. The German fighter comes in for the kill and barely misses. He flies across our bomber. The tail gunner Viglino awaits him on the other side and hits. The 109 crashes into the ground. Scratch out another sucker. It's the second kill for tail gunner Viglino. The review copy continues into Zone 2, where it has good fighter cover and no bandits to worry about. It enters Zone 1, where the weather is good and has an uneventful landing. Despite the flak on target, the review copy managed a successful bomb run, delivered 30% of its bombs on target, one of the gunners shot his second German aircraft, no crew suffered any damage, and the mission was a victory. The first victory for the review copy in B-17, Queen of the Skies.